Hi, it's 1111 Oracle here. Thank you for tuning back in with me. Today we're going to do a pick a card on what your magical powers are. Here's the crystal selection. Crystal number 1, number 2, number 3. You can take a deep breath, close your eyes, and the first crystal you see when you open your eyes could be the one that you choose. You can go with a gut feeling or anywhere your intuition strikes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's start off with number 1. I'm going to shuffle the cards and let's see what goodies we have for you as far as your magical powers and abilities. Number 1. What is number 1's magical powers and abilities? Let's take a look. So you have the 10 of Wands, the Justice card, and the 9 of Swords. What I'm getting right away is you have, and let's put them in the background here. All right, 9 of Swords, Justice, 10 of Wands. This one's going to be kind of tilted, but we'll do our best. There we go. That's better. Okay. You have a hard time going to sleep at night. That's the first thing I want to convey to you. Part of the reason that you have a hard time sleeping at night is you may be similar to me in that I see that you are definitely someone who has a lot of mental activity. A lot of your source of power comes from your mind. You have a very discerning mind. You can be a very logical person. You know if someone is lying to you. You can see it right away, and it's subtle. Other people will miss the signs, but it'll be in the way that the person acts, or it'll be even more subtle than that, like just a gleam in their eyes, or the way they picked up their bag, something really, really odd, and no one else could figure out what you're talking about, and other people just kind of shrug off and wave off the intuitions that you share, except the thing is, you are always on point. So one of your most powerful psychic abilities is actually the gift of discernment in the way in which you see people. You know what they're all about, and you know whether they're telling the truth or not. You can see through the facade, right? You can see through the veil of illusion very clearly. You have what is called claircognizance. If you're not familiar with the clairs, clair in French means clear. Clair, clear. And cognizance means knowing. So you have the ability, your strongest ability is of clear knowing. You just know things. You see things very clearly and you know, you don't know how you know, which is the most frustrating thing. You don't know how you know, but you just know. Now back to at nighttime, when you have a little bit more difficulty sleeping, and this has to do with your mental activity. This has to do with the same reason why you are such a clear, knowing person. Okay, all of that mental activity, you have an enormous amount of mental prowess where you can see not only through the veil, but you can also you're also acutely aware of different energies and entities around you. So when you go to sleep, sometimes you get the eerie knowing that there's something else there. And it's not that you can always see it. For some of you, you can. You might be able to see ghosts and different entities. For some of you, it's more so that you just know when there is a spirit present and what kind of a spirit. You attract a lot of different types of energies towards you. You are certainly a light in the darkness. You're like a flame in the darkness, right? And you attract, just like a moth to a flame, you attract some of the more negative, darker energies because they see you thinking that you are the light to move on to the other side. But in fact, it's just that you have a very strong light and you're very connected to your higher self and to source. So the spirits that you are drawing in, you may be interested in going into some kind of a mediumship ability. All right. But I'm getting to that sometimes these impressions that you get are uncomfortable and you don't like them. All right. They may scare you. So all in good timing. If this is something that you would be interested in, I know there are a lot of people who are, when they are introduced into the psychic realm of things, they tend to be drawn towards people like mediums because they want that connection to the other side. They want to go to someone who can connect them to their deceased loved ones. So you have this ability, I'm getting here, and you have the ability to connect people to people who have passed on in a very clear and down-to-earth way. So if you do decide to go into something with mediumship and express your abilities, I'm seeing that you can be very successful and on point with this. Some of you may want to look at your palm, whichever hand you are dominant in, whether you're left-handed or you're right-handed. But in your dominant palm, you may have what's called the, like if you read palms and you see an X in your palm, that could be a psychic indication. Okay. So people with this mark in their palms, I'm getting usually are, what we call the more obvious psychics, or not so much obvious as in duh, but the psychics that most people think of when they think of a psychic, someone who can connect with the deceased and spirits on the other side. So this is one of your strongest gifts, which is a very powerful gift to have. Now, if you don't see ghosts and entities, like I said, you're aware of them around you. And if you're not too frightened off by the feelings and the impressions you get, you can be a very accurate channel between the messages from the other side. And whoops, sorry, this side. Okay. That was a ghost that knocked over the camera, by the way. Just joking. Now it's just my klutzy self. So that's an interesting gift to have, definitely. So you might want to look a little bit into that. I'm going to pull out a couple more cards to see what else, what some of your maybe more secondary abilities are. Cool. Nice. You are certainly very powerful. You're a very powerful psychic. Okay. You have the Star card, the High Priestess, and the Eight of Pentacles. All right. So basically, with the Star card, this tells me a few things. Number one, to me, when I see the Star card in a reading for psychic abilities, this is an indication that, like I said, it could be a few things. Either you are very good at astrology, your clear knowing and your practical ability of putting things in a sort of grounded way can actually show that you have this potential to be a great astrologer. You have a great understanding of the mathematical structural side of things and how that links up with the unseen world. So you would be a great astrologer, and judging from your extremely orderly mind and your exceptional mental prowess, I would say that you would be an excellent maybe some of you are psychologists, I don't know, or you understand the psychology of people through astrology. The other thing is that what I was going to say first, and I didn't end up saying first, is that you certainly could be a starseed. If you're not sure what the term of starseed is and you don't feel drawn to that word, then you're probably not a starseed. But if you do know what a starseed is, and or you feel intrigued by the word starseed, there's a possibility that you may be a starseed, a strong possibility at that. So I would look up star and then the word seed, it's one word, to get a little bit more information. This is someone, a soul who comes from other galaxies, star systems in the universe. So, quote unquote alien, but there are other terms that we use. Starseed is one of them. Okay, you may want to look at that. The Eight of Pentacles, you're a good manifester, so what you put your mind to, you attract. This involves some hard work, of course, just like anything in the 3D plane, but you have great tunnel vision. What I refer to good tunnel vision is when you see your goal at the end and you don't let anything else get in your way, get in the way of distractions, and you just go towards your goals. And you can be very successful in drawing to you the opportunities. I'm also getting that you are just like a very powerful psychic. And so a lot of your manifestation abilities have to do with the fact that you're so tapped in to the universe at large, and the laws of the universe, not just the law of attraction, but the law of synchronicity, law of good timing. I don't know if that's a specific law, but I'm going to say that it is. All right, since the universe is all about going with the flow and trusting the timing. But you are a great manifester, definitely. And the High Priestess, I mean, you can't get a more psychic card than this, in my opinion. Possibly the Hermit, or even maybe the High Priest would be a good contender. But I almost feel like the High Priestess is more psychic in a sense than the High Priest, because she's a little bit more introverted. Thus, she's, in a sense, spends a lot more time in her books, in her reflections, and in her solitude, thus being more open to the connection of the unseen, since her mind is going to be quieter and she's going to be more receptive to the very subtle noises of the universe, correct? So you're certainly a high priest. I'm getting that you're clairaudient as well. If ever you got like a thought in your head and either it's, you know, it's in your voice, it just seems like it's your thought, or it seems so subtle, but yet it seems almost foreign to you, like good, like there's good advice there, you know. I sometimes get it well, I get it frequently. I used to think it was my imagination. I'll be sitting on the couch and then I'll hear a voice that's in my own thoughts, kind of like, you know, go drink water. And you can pass it off for, I'm just, you know, being conscientious of myself and telling myself to drink water. But I believe that this is an indication of clairaudience. And that is, you know, clairaudience, being able to hear clearly, does not mean that you hear something physical, but more that you are able to tune into the subtle messages and you interpret them as your thoughts, right? You give words to the energies that are trying to, you know, give you advice or whatever it is. So you're the high priestess and you have access to a lot of sacred knowledge. I'm hearing secret and untapped. So all the knowledge that you need is within you. You just have to tap into it. But very cool. To wrap up, in summary, your highest gift would be the gift of claircognizance, where you just know things, you feel entities. You would be a great medium to channel messages from the other side to this side. And you also have the potential to develop your clairaudience more, and you're the high priestess. So you know a lot of knowledge within you. You just have to untap all of the secrets that are hidden. You may, if you're interested, want to delve into the topic of past lives to see, you know, where you might have developed these abilities in the past. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this reading, please feel free to give this video a like, subscribe, and share if you'd like. That would be nice. Okay. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Number 2, you have your crystal over here. All right. Number 2, let's take a look at what your psychic abilities are. I'm going to shuffle the cards. They're going to let us know what your strongest abilities are first. Whoops. Okay. Interesting. So I don't know what the other 2 cards that are going to do. Let's see. You have one card that's the same as the other group, except your reading is different. Okay. You have the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Wands. So let's go ahead and place these right over here. All right. Okay, group 2. Number 1, you are an excellent communicator. And if you're not an excellent communicator, you don't think you're an excellent communicator, other people like your style of communication. There's something about your style of communication, and your words are very linked to the divine. So that's a beautiful gift already. You may be a poet, or you may be a writer, or you may use your words out loud in communication, but you have this divinely inspired connection, and your psychic abilities are very strongly expressed through the messages that you share, all right? The communications that you share. The other thing is that you might also be a great listener. So not only do you have a very heightened connection to relaying the right messages at the right time, you can also funnel in those messages from your crown chakra. Your crown chakra is just this beautifully open violet beam of light sparkles. I see just open over your head, and you funnel in messages when you're in the zone, when you're in your creative writing zone, or when you are channeling or writing something important to someone, or even to yourself. You have the potential. This I'm getting through the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is all about fast communication, and it could be linked to technology, since phones, etc., all has to do with communication. So you might be very good in technology. You might be working in a technological field as well, or just really like technology. And I would encourage you to use technology, because it'll bring you a lot of luck when it comes to the 21st century, the world, the digital age that we live in, relaying those, spoken or written messages and communication. You are clairaudient in the sense that you can draw in those messages, hear them to a certain degree. You may also, some of you are going to hear those messages as thoughts in your mind. For other people, it's actually can go in different ways. You can be claircognizant, where you just know things, all of a sudden inspiration hits and you write a message down. You can also be clairsentient, where you feel the energies and you translate those energies into messages. So there's different ways that this can go. I'm not seeing a strong clairvoyance per se, but that doesn't mean that if you feel you're clairvoyant that, then you're not. Maybe you are. But what I am seeing is three pools. You either receive information very strongly through feeling, through hearing, your inner ear and your thoughts, or just through knowing. And it could be a combination of the three as well. Okay. There's a certain amount of nervous energy. You have this, with the Nine of Swords, could represent anxiety. But in this case, I feel that there's a certain nervous energy. It's like your energy is very electric itself. I know this is not a specific ability, but your energy quality is like electricity. So you may have a deep interest for technology, but not necessarily. There's something very Uranian about you, okay? Very Aquarian, very linked to the just sporadic and erratic kind of rebellious, not rebellious as in, I'm going to do something against someone just because I don't feel like following and conforming, but it's more you are the nonconformist. And that in itself can be a very strong and beautiful psychic ability, because it inspires other people to be non-conformist and go after their goals and their visions. So I'm getting you inspire a lot of people through the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork and working with other people. In this case, I'm just intuitively feeling, not necessarily seeing this in the cards, but intuitively channeling and seeing that you are a leader. You're not the lion type leader where you just command the stage and everybody follows you, because they can't help, they just have this kind of magnetic presence. You have a magnetic presence in a different way, in a mysterious way. People are drawn to you because you don't go out of your way to claim the throne. So it's more given to you. People are like, oh, what's that person all about with the sunglasses in the corner, They're like, oh, what's that person all about? I wanna do what they're doing. I wanna follow what they're doing. There's something very intriguing. I wanna see what they're all about here. So you have this Uranian, Aquarian energy. You're an excellent communicator. I was gonna say at the beginning, and I forgot, with the Eight of Wands, that you potentially have a strong gift at automatic writing. And automatic writing is when you can channel messages through your writing. I'm getting, you're just connected to the higher planes, and you could be a poet. The erratic energy, coming back to the erratic energy around you, it gives you, it makes you feel restless sometimes. You have this creative spark. It's so strong. Your psychic abilities are very linked to your creativity. So you just have this abundance of energy at times. You don't know what to do, and it doesn't let you rest until you actually create something. So what's happening here with your energy is you're so connected to the higher realms that you become kind of electrically charged with insights, and spirit just fills up your cup with just these insights and inspirations and ideas. And until you actually put them down on paper or create or, put your words out there or share your message, until you actually do that, those ideas just feel like they're becoming more and more and more pressured. You are constantly collecting inspiration, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. And because you're constantly collecting, inspiration from wherever you go without even looking for it, it's not something you can so much control. It's just who you are. It's just the kind of energy that you are. You're an artist. You're a writer. You're a communicator. Something about you is very Aquarian and artistic, and you lead others through being different and inspiring them with your creativity and your authenticity. So the universe is kind of, they want you to create. The universe, the collective unconscious, so to speak, wants you to create, wants you to communicate messages. Because a lot of the messages coming through are actually inspired messages from the universe that would like to relay a global message to the world, or a large group of people at least. There's a domino effect too, don't forget. When you share something, you're sharing it with just one person, but then they're going to go share it with other people. Even if they don't share, their attitude is going to change, the things they do might change, and as a domino effect, that will inspire a lot of change in others. So your magical abilities are, in summary here, your ability to connect to the higher realms and funnel those divine messages through your writing and your speaking. You might want to look at automatic writing to see if it interests you. Otherwise, you are very interesting to a lot of people just because you're kind of different. So your difference and your authenticity inspires dramatic change around you, positive change. And that energy that you feel, that sort of electric charge that just pulses through you a lot of the times, can overwhelm you. So make sure to take breaks, drink water, eat well, sleep well, because otherwise that will affect your mood if you don't. And you may have noticed this. But generally speaking, if you put whatever the inspiration that you've received down on paper, or however you like to, in a blog, or however you put out your messages, doesn't have to be in writing. If you take that energy and you put it out there, you're going to notice that you're going to feel more relaxed and satisfied until the next build-up comes, right? So that's why your energy, your creative routine is so different from other people. You can't work in a sort of a regular pattern. All right, for you it comes and goes. When you have a buildup of energy, that's where you need to create and you need to put it down. Then after that, because it was so intense, all of that energy that built up, your body naturally needs to relax. So very cool, magical abilities, this, connection where the divine wants to speak through you, and so that you can carry messages out to others. You're the messenger. Nice. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Sorry, that was just me kind of in my own little world. I didn't say a proper goodbye. So I hope you enjoy this video. And if you liked it, please feel free to give it a like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah! Have a wonderful day. Okay. Number 3. This is your crystal. All right, we're going to put it there. And let's see, number 3. What are your psychic abilities? What are your magical powers? Let's shuffle the deck and see what comes out. Okay, that one, that one, this one. All right, let's take a look. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. 2 aces. Interesting. Okay, take a look. First, with the Queen of Swords, you could be a water sign as your sun sign, Pisces, Aquarius, Cancer. I'm getting more, not so much Aquarius vibes here. I'm getting more so Cancer vibes. Very loving, even Pisces potentially. Now, if you're not a water sign, don't worry. Your birth chart is pretty complicated. You have your sun sign, you have your moon sign. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but there's so much more going on there. So you may want to look at your birth chart. You can go online and go to birth chart calculator. And then you can see if, where after you put in your birth date and the time and everything, if you have any prominent water positions, okay? So for example, my sun sign is a fire sign, but I have a lot of water, prominent water in my chart. So I exhibit a lot of kind of, these watery qualities. So you are someone, back to you are someone very emotional, in touch with her emotions. You can be a girl, a guy, it doesn't matter, but either way, you have very feminine qualities, okay? You're very in touch with the arts. You're very in touch with your sensuality. You have a soft grace about you. You have this very gentle energy, okay? Very soothing and very healing. And you do have this healing aura and this healing presence, and people feel understood around you. They feel seen, and they just feel safe. However, now, no, we're talking about magical abilities here. Don't worry, I'm building up to that, okay? Because all of this fits in with your, your abilities, your psychic abilities, and I'm going to explain in a minute. But first, I just want to paint a picture for you. Some people can be emotional or energy vampires. If you're not you, sorry, some people around you. You are not an energy vampire, okay? Nobody likes to hear that they are, but basically an energy vampire, an emotional vampire, is someone who, when you're around them, you feel drained afterwards, okay? And they may do it intentionally or unintentionally, but basically their energy is very low vibrational, and they tend to suck out energy from the people around them, okay? Now, do they actually suck energy away from you? I don't think it necessarily works that way, but I don't know scientifically to explain exactly what happens. All I know is there are certain people you come across that will drain your energy. Now, this means that if you are the kind of person to attract a lot of these type of energy vampires, you yourself are a highly sensitive person, an HSP. You might potentially be an empath, okay? Someone who can feel the emotions of other people without absorbing. For you as an empath would be the opposite, where you would feel depleted a lot of times. Even just a normal conversation, you need a lot of time to yourself to recharge your batteries. All right. That being said, some of these emotional energy vampires, they cross the line and they take advantage of your niceness. They think that you don't have a backbone, but watch out, because they come into a very rude awakening when you take out your sword, metaphorically speaking, and you draw the line in the sand and you say, I'm sorry, no, you cannot cross. All right. So you have great barriers. You are nice and you are giving to those people who deserve it. But as soon as someone crosses the line and you can see what they're doing, you say, no, I'm not going to fall for this one again. And that's probably because when you are younger, this happened so often that you learned how to develop this very strong backbone, where you did not allow those who were not welcome to cross that threshold. Okay, psychically speaking, I say that meditation is a great way for you to open up your psychic abilities even more. If you don't meditate a lot, or you don't like to sit still for too long, you can do different things like walking meditation, or listening to music to get yourself in the zone, or even a 5-10 minute closed eye meditation would be nice, or just before sleep, because what that will do is will connect your sensitive energies even more to a higher power that will strengthen your resolve, strengthen your reserve, and allow you to better protect yourself psychically. On that note, you have a lot of psychic protection. I'm just intuiting right now, not necessarily getting specifically from the cards, but you do have a heavy army of spirit guides around you who are very protective of your energy, and they do not allow others in unless those others have your highest good and highest intent at heart. So in that sense, despite some of the nasty energy around you at times, you have a band of very positive, bright spirits who will do anything just to, to protect you. They're very protective of you. They love you. You have something very important to offer the world, and you are very important to them. Okay, you have also you have like the a golden touch. Okay, you have this ability to heal. Like I said, you're a healer, so your psychic ability, your strongest psychic ability, is this healing ability. Just being in your presence is healing. You don't have to do anything to heal. Just being present, which is why you attract so many energy vampires, because they feel your healing energy. And an energy vampire is rather empty on the inside in many ways, and they look to others to fill in the void that they never learned how to heal for themselves. Does that make sense? So they look to you to fill that void, but they don't care to give anything back, right? There's not an even exchange. So that's the problem with energy vampires. So, meditation will increase your awareness of your psychic abilities, open those up. It will also strengthen your connection with your spirit guides. And by strengthening your connection with your spirit guides, you'll be able to be more in tune, in line with them, and better be able to protect yourself psychically from people and the unseen that doesn't have your best intent. Nothing to be afraid of, because either way you're protective. You're just going to be more effective at protecting yourself and feeling good and, energized if you meditate more often. You're going to be grounded, more centered, and like I said, different ways of meditating. It doesn't just have to be the traditional closed eye, cross-legged. All right. Let's see. So you also have this healing touch that I mentioned. Your presence, but you might be into energy healing, or like Reiki, for instance, or even just massage. But whatever you do, when you touch, all right, you have a healing touch. So putting your hand on someone's shoulders to console them sends a beautiful healing energy through that person's auric field that they can feel, and it will immediately calm them down. So you have this immediate healing effect on others. So that's really beautiful that you have that as your magical ability. Now I want to pull out some more cards to see if there are any other maybe secondary gifts. Your main and strongest one I'm seeing, at least for right now, is your healing ability. So sorry, here is the deck. I'm going to shuffle that. Okay, 2 cards want to come out. Let's see, 2 swords, interesting. We have, can you see it? The 7 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. So with the 8 of Swords, you are, there's a few different messages coming through. Number one, you can kind of get trapped in your mind sometimes, and you put limitations on yourself, or sometimes you don't see clearly. I'm feeling that you're so tapped into the other side that sometimes you lack being grounded. See, that's where the meditation, the mindfulness practices can come in. If you really ground your energy, your psychic abilities are going to be that much stronger. I know that seems counterintuitive, because there's a lot of circles of belief that say you just have to kind of meditate forever and then you'll be in tuned, right? 78, I'm just hearing would for some of you be an important number, so pay attention to that, 78. But basically the other thing, which is the more exciting thing that comes through with the Eight of Swords, is that you are unaware of all of the sort of spiritual activity and energy around you. You attract a lot of it. You may feel like you're alone and that you're all by yourself, and I'm feeling you go through this period of loneliness sometimes because you know how tuned in and tapped in you are to the divine. If you really listen to your intuition, you can feel it. But the thing is, you don't always see it. You may, I would say, pay attention to your dreams, but you tend to doubt yourself. And so you go into this back and forth spiral of feeling alone and then feeling frustrated, but yet you're never really alone, as creepy as that sounds. Don't worry about the negative entities or negative, beings being attracted to you. You're very protected by higher beings of love and light. So ultimately, all this says is that you are connected through a web to many other spiritual beings. They protect you. They love you. They walk with you as like you would see any sports team walking together. It's like they walk with you as a team. Wherever you walk, they walk together. Okay? If you need your privacy or you feel it's overwhelming, sometimes just ask them and they will be respectful. But they walk with you everywhere. They love you. And so you don't realize that they surround you. Okay, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. This is more about a block, not so much about a spiritual ability in this case. Sometimes you can get a little too defensive, or when you get very emotionally entrenched in your negative thought patterns, then this can have this blinding effect on you. A little bit of what gives a little bit more flavor to the Eight of Wands there and Eight of Swords, and explains that. So I mentioned Eight of Wands by accident. Eight of Wands is in charge of communication. So you may feel like you're overrun by way too many thoughts in your head and it's just hard to manage. You can ask Spirit to slow it down, give you a break if you feel overwhelmed by it all. But I'm getting that you sort of sometimes go through this very defeatist attitude of I can't do it, and you're not giving yourself as much power as you deserve. I think that being so in tune with everything around you, you're so receptive to all kinds of energies, it's easy to get distracted by negative energies and let that affect you. So the less grounded you are, the more affected you will be by these negative sort of impressions from other people and whatnot. You understand what I'm saying? The more grounded you are, the less you'll see them there. You'll be aware of the negative and the positive, but you'll be more focused on the positive and you'll feel good and stable and grounded. So it's like, the example I can give you is, if you're not a very strong tree and a little maybe wind comes by and it's a strong wind, it may have the potential to knock you off or at least some of your branches. But if you're a strong tree with deep roots, then that same wind is not going to have the same kind of impact. And you can do this. It's a growing process, right? All trees have to start off as baby trees and eventually grow into bigger trees. Just like with anyone, just people have to start off as children and grow. But you're in this growing period where you're learning to become more strong. You're learning to become more anchored in yourself and feel proud of what you have to offer the world. Because, hey, spirit guides don't lie. If you have an army of spirit guides around you who absolutely adore you and love you, then you must be a pretty great person, right? So I would say that was a fantastic reading. You're a healer. You're very loved by the seen and the unseen. keep grounding your energy, meditation, get enough sleep. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. And if you like the reading, please feel free to give the video a like, subscribe, share, comment down below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Mwah! Love and light.